Hi guys, welcome to the part 2 of my myomectomy experience. But before we go into the video, how have you guys been? How have you been doing? Hope you've been doing well. If you've not watched the first part of the video, you can watch it after this one. I do not think that you need to watch the first part in order to watch this one, but however you want to watch it, it's up to you. You can go back and watch the first one. I'm going to leave the link in the description and here as well. I would also leave it at the end of this video so that you can watch it after this one. You don't have to leave this one if you don't want to. I know I'm fine. I want to continue looking at my pretty face. You do not have to if you don't want to, but I recommend that you can watch it after this one. This video is going to cover my surgery up until my recovery and some elements even after that recovery period. On the morning of my surgery, a nurse woke me up very early. I think it was even 5 a.m.ish. I had my bath and then I was given a hospital gown to wear. That thing wasn't really even a gown. It was like paper thing and just something to cover your body. You obviously have to be, naked underneath it all. So I changed into that, had something for my hair as well to cover my hair, and then I was escorted into the operating room. I got into the operating room. I saw the team of doctors. They were quite nice. They were gisting, and it wasn't awkward or scary or anything. I was scared, not scared, I was anxious. One good thing about this whole process was because I was sort of like, I had peace with the doctor that I chose. I wasn't really scared. Going into that room, I'd already handed everything over to God. So when I got in, the doctors, they were nice. They were gisting and discussing. I came in, they greeted me. They asked, just small talk. And then I lay on the table. The most difficult part, like I said, is the shots. And because I had already told my doctor how I felt about that whole thing, they put in more effort in ensuring that I was comfortable during that whole process. I did not even know when the anesthesiologist did the shots. Like, I was oblivious when he did it, and they were saying lie down before your legs got weak. I was like, are you done? I was like, yes. I was like, oh. It was more mental as opposed to like physical pain when it came to the shot. So after that, it took a few seconds, maybe a minute, for the anesthesia to kick in. So I just lay down, and they kept checking to see if I was numb. So they would touch me. Can you feel this? Can you feel that? So that they don't start cutting me open when I could still feel pain. So when I was completely numb, the doctor he did the HSD thing first before like they went into my uterus and started removing the fibroid. There was a timer on, and he kept asking the nurse like what the time was so that they know how long they've been on the surgery. I'm not sure if the timing was for the surgery itself or was for the anesthesia, so that they would know when it was wearing off. I don't know what that whole timing thing was meant to do, but I know that there was a 2-hour timer on. The surgery took about 2 hours to be done, and that whole process was not very eventful. I was lying down. The anesthesiologist was quite chatty, very chatty. I don't know if he was trying to keep me awake or he was just that kind of person, but we talked a lot. A lot. So like they kept talking me through that process. They had like something, a green cloth sort of thing covering my face, so I couldn't really see what was going on down there, but they were talking, saying things. I kept asking though. After a while, I was really tired of just lying down there, so I was like, are you guys not done yet? When are you going to be done? What's happening at this point? So that whole process was boring. It was quite boring, but eventually we got to the end. At the end of the surgery though, I could feel like a lot of pressure, because I know that I did not scream, but I shouted when they were pushing my uterus in place. So if you did not know, like, a fibroid surgery does not only entail removing the fibroids, you also have to reconstruct your uterus as well. So I think that last process I felt a bit, not pain, but just like pressure. That was what I felt. But eventually the whole process was done, and I think that at the end they gave me morphine, because I don't remember a lot after I was wheeled out of the room. When I woke up later in the day, my mom was by my side. She was happy, thanking God that everything went on good. She was asking me how I was doing, if I was in pain, how I was feeling, you know, all of that. That was how the surgery went. It wasn't really scary or anything. It was okay. The whole experience was okay. For the next 3 days, which was the time that I spent in the hospital, I was on round the clock medication, so I didn't feel any intense pain, just like mild discomfort with like moving around. By the morning of the next day, we were already asked to, you know, walk around. By the second day, I was already going down the stairs and coming up, so recovery wasn't really very difficult for me. I could get up, sit down. I cleaned myself up as well after the second day, I think. They showed us how to do it after the surgery, and from there we could basically do it ourselves. The most frustrating part of the hospital experience was the time I had to wait to eat. Like, that was really frustrating, and when I could eventually eat, they allowed me to take only pap. It was just very frustrating. That was the most difficult part of my hospital stay. I remember the time when I was really annoyed was like with the food situation. So that was basically it. My surgery happened on Saturday morning, and by Tuesday afternoon I was discharged from the hospital. After I was discharged, I went back home, and my recovery period started proper. I was still on medication, but it wasn't as strong as like the intravenous one that they were giving me in the hospital, so I could still feel some sort of pain, but I will not lie, the pain that I found, like when I was doing my research and women were complaining about like the pain, how painful it is and all of that, I was expecting a lot of pain, but my experience wasn't like that at all. Like, my experience was not like that at all. Of the pain that I experienced, they were manageable pain. The discomfort was like a lot better than the pain, because like I had to lie down a certain way, I couldn't stand a certain way. If I laugh or sneeze, you know, I had pain, but it wasn't like constant pain like it was being described by a lot of women who have experienced that. I'm not saying they're lying, I'm just saying everybody's experience is different, but our body varies, how we react to things varies. But like, you were cut open, so I was expecting a lot of pain, but maybe because of the medication that I was on, my pain wasn't that bad, and it didn't last for very long. By the second or third week after I'd finished with my medication, I didn't have to re-up any pain med or anything, so I was fine. One thing, however, that I noticed was headaches. My head ached badly for days on end. It lasted up until the third week, I think. When it was getting too bad, like I complained a lot, and my mom was like I should call the doctor and let him know. So I called him, and he said it was side effect from the shots that I was given, the anesthesia that I was given, that I should take Coca-Cola once in a while to help. I don't know whether it helped, I don't know what the result was, but I was just happy to drink Coke. So I got Coke and I drank that, but the headache stopped after like the third week, like I said. Another thing that I experienced that period was with stool. I had stool softness. I took it for a bit, but I don't know if it helped at all. But there was that difficulty to pull for the for about a week or two. But by the time my diet became regular, I was going well. It was just the discomfort of standing and sitting that was the issue with that. Apart from like the mild pain, discomfort from moving up and down, shifting, laughing, sneezing, as well as like stool and gas situation. My recovery wasn't very difficult. It wasn't very difficult at all, but it helped that I was around my family, I was around my brothers, my parents. So I went to my parents' house instead of going back home, so I didn't have to do much. My brothers were taking care of me, my mom was providing me all of the meals that I need. All I needed to do was just ensure that I move my body and walk every single day. And in my house it was like staircase situation, so I went up and down the stairs multiple times a day. Like I said, my pain wasn't that intense, so that wasn't even difficult for me to do. By my 4th week I was fine. My wound as well, that's something I should mention. At first I was scared about the way the thing was healing. It was fat. It started off being very puffy and fat, and because it wasn't just like the place where I was tore open, there was also like a spot where they inserted something to drain liquid. So the whole place was puffy and it just looked like a pipe was in it. So I was really scared I was going to heal very rubbishly, but as time went on it got really good. Right now my scar is flat, like it's really flat. It's not invisible yet, but it's okay. It's okay. After the surgery, it felt like they tore me from end to end. When I showed my sister the scar, she was like, why did they tear you this wide? I was like, I don't know, but I think as it healed it came together. So now the it's just probably this wide now. One thing I should mention is that I am in my 6th month and I've not had any complication or any cause to worry post-surgery, which is all glory to God because I have been through a lot. Post-recovery, my period came back. It was not up to a month after. It followed the same calendar before I did the surgery, so I was probably only a few days late. So my period was back immediately, and the first and second one were heavy, but they were not as heavy as pre-op. They were not as heavy as before I did the surgery. But one thing I noticed with this whole situation is that now my period comes with terrible mood swings that I really don't appreciate right now, but they are no longer painful. They're no longer painful as well. So now I have like normal flow, normal period experience, which is really great. If you are watching this trying to learn what your post-op experience is going to be and advice from somebody who has done it before, my opinion is that everybody's body is different. I too did the same thing. I watched a lot of videos, read a lot of articles, a lot of people's experiences about like their surgery, and honestly mine didn't follow that same route. Everybody's body is different, so you never really can tell what your experience would be. But one thing I would say is that in my case it helped that I was expecting the worst, because like the experience did not meet my expectation, which is a good thing. But even if it did, I had sort of already prepared myself mentally and physically to go through the process. I believe it would not have been that bad. What I'm going to say is just prepare your mind to go through the worst and pray that the worst is not your portion. You would also need a lot of help, so get some. My mom was my help in and out of the hospital, and I also had my brothers as well after I was discharged. Deciding to go the surgery route is not easy. It really isn't easy, but if you are going through this situation, if you have fibroids, just know that you are not alone. There are a lot of women who are experiencing the exact same thing. It's not something that you did, it's not your fault. Nobody has an explanation to why it happens. It just happens, and you are not alone in the fight. things happen and you just have to, you know, learn to do with it, make peace with it, fix it if you can, and just move on, you know. That's it for this video, guys. If you have any questions that I did not answer in this video, you can leave it in the comment section and I would answer that. If there's something in particular that you're looking for that I probably didn't mention in this video, let me know in the comment section, and if I have any help or answers, I would share with you as well. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching. Subscribe to my channel if you are not yet subscribed, and I'll see you guys in my next video.